the aspirations, human aspirations. Why? Why is Africa so good when it comes to attaining aspirations? Why is Africa gifted when it comes to producing reproducing beings? What to things in place to help them be the best versions of themselves? Were unable to do that. Why isn't Africa achieving health, provide education, providing whatever a man needs to live a better life? But when it comes to producing the man, Africa is going to three. First place in the world. Nigeria is number 8, by the way. Is that a good thing? I know, children are a blessing, right? But it's a good thing. And also, why is Africa, or why isn't Africa leading the world in achieving human aspirations? Leading the world in humans. Once again, donate on Facebook and Twitter, GH. Also, you can call 070-023-0923 or 0817-933-443. Well, the headlines coming up at the hour. Bottom upon me at 5:30. Main comes up at 6. But before then, discussions are conducted after, by the way, about Singapore. Before again, Nigeria ranks 8th most fertile country at global rate of center. It's part of the world, particularly around in the advanced varieties where you have most aspirations, or the aspirations of most persons are being met. The challenges that we're dealing with on the African continent in Nigeria, they don't have those concerns. And then you wonder why fertility rate is not increasing in those countries where you have education. Most things are better over there. Why are they not having more children? Why is fertility rate on the declining countries? However, where you have the highest number of out-of-school children, where you have malaria-stricken people, you have more educational sector, some way, fertility rate is right. People are just getting more children. Hello, you're welcome.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon, Mr. Dairo.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Blake, this is an interesting topic. Please, I hope, am I having a call back? Please, let me do that. That is quite fortunate. It's quite unfortunate. You can easily explain this as a result of the economic problem we are having in Africa. So a situation where you have somebody that is very, very poor. The person does not have the basic necessities of life. The person finds it difficult to at least make a living. And the person doesn't have other things that make life useful. There is no other thing that the person is left with than his wife. So if the person is done for his activities for the day, the only thing that will give him a sense of respite is just his woman. So such a person will have no other option than to keep on producing. So that's the problem we are having in Africa, and in particular in Nigeria.
But how is that respite really? Because when you produce these children that you're unable to care for, how does that give respite?
Yes, ordinarily, if somebody has other things that is taking away his attention from his wife, the person will not have any business producing children.
Okay. I get the point you're making, but I'm not asking why we're producing. That's not the primary focus of this conversation.
And where you have poverty being endemic is in Africa.
All right, great to have you here. Now, once again, the focus of this conversation is not why, people have more children. Not necessarily. Well, I understand it is a part of the conversation, yes, but it's not the primary focus of the conversation. The primary focus of the conversation is why is Nigeria not leading the rest of the world when it comes to attaining or achieving or fulfilling human aspirations? Why? Why is that the case? Why are we leading the world in fertility rates, in producing children, but we are not leading?
Why Africa are not leading the world is that we, Africa, we are saying ourselves. We fail to speak the truth to ourselves politically and otherwise. And that is why we are always behind for the rest of the nation. So the moment Africa come together and plan well, put it well, implement them well, they will also do well. So that is my contribution.
The three major reasons behind fertility to the conversation. Achieving human aspirations. People, Africa is doing well. Nigeria is its position in the world, and when it comes to fertility matters. Hello. All right, go on. Please speak louder, please. You have to speak loud, please.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
Okay. The first and second caller, I said this is not primary thing you want to hear about the health of Nigerian people. Hello?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, please.
Let me tell you that by being spiritual thing, why is Nigeria or Africa is blessed in living in this kind of situation where the leaders are putting our money, using our money. The amount of people that this devil really connected with is too much in Africa, especially Nigeria. It came to still kill. So the amount of people used to like out in Nigeria. So they influence everything want to be in Africa and Nigeria. They influence because if people why is the devil
is he ignoring Europe and the US and other parts of the world?
Very because Africa, many other people in things.
Okay.
There are all of that happen in a particular area, a particular store, or you know that the devil is not far from that particular area, that particular city. The devil is not far from Africa, Nigeria. It manipulates us too much.
So once again, why is the devil focused on Nigeria and ignoring the US, for example?
Okay, I was in spiritual now. You see that there are people in that community who have lost a position. They believe in Christ more than like they are pure in heart. Most of them in that as humans are in heart more than we can.
Really?
How they relate to their fellow humans, then you will know that they are different from us. The devil is really working in our lives. He's really manipulating us. Now look at the election that happened in Adamawa. Look at what is happening in our society. We know it's physical. We are seeing it as a physical thing. True, it's more
it's spiritual because the devil is resident here.
It might be a resident, yeah, because
okay. Sorry, that's too much that I can take. I have to go for a commercial break shortly, and discussions continue after that. Oh, stick around. It's 91.0 info and airport market. I'll be connected. What is Africa lacking it when it comes to innocent good life, but we're producing humans the most? Still around.
Hey, countryman, since I discovered Cal Technologies, my
with Dion.
Welcome back to Hot Factor Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Daya. 28 minutes before 6 p.m. That's 28 minutes before the major bulletin comes up top of the hour. Well, for the moment, discussions continue. Nigeria ranks 8th most fertile country as global rate drops by 50%. According to a report published by Daily Mail in 2020, the global average fertility rate was 2.3 compared to 4.7 in 1970. A staggering 51% drop over half a century. Swaths of Europe and North America recording fewer than a 2 births per woman average. But in Africa, a fertility rate continues to grow, as 31 of the top 32 countries with the highest fertility rate are on the continent. Nigeria is number 8 with a rate of 6.9 children per woman. Why is Nigeria leading the world in producing human beings? However, when it comes to achieving human aspirations, increasing the quality of life, Nigeria, Africa, is backwards. The line's up and call 070-0923-0923. Hello, Hot Factor, welcome.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead.
Good evening.
Go ahead, please.
My name is Malobi. Why Nigeria? Let me talk about Nigeria. Why we are good in producing babies and not good in producing what will make their life meaningful? Is because our leaders, Nigeria has suffered so much from bad leadership. The wealth of this nation is in the hands of a few. And these few are not even considering the larger populace of this nation, how they are going to live a meaningful life, how their life will be made better. No employment, nothing, no money, nothing. So, outside of having something good to do for themselves, they just end up producing children for their home. Somebody that is busy working somewhere will only go out in the morning, come back maybe in the evening or at night. So where will he have that time producing children every year? So poverty is the primary reason. And our leaders made it to remain like that, so that the life of population of this nation will remain at the basement.
Why do you suppose Africa's leaders or Nigerian leaders are intent on making the people poor? Why?
Because they are not giving us the dividend of good leadership. We are not, instead of the nation, the Nigerians, instead of their life getting better, we find out that the life of a few is just getting better, while the rest are getting poorer. It's a calculated action.
I'm asking you why. That's what I'm asking. You say it's calculated. Why? What's the point of this calculation?
Because they are weak. Simple. If they love a fellow man, if they love the other person, if they see the next person as a human being as they see themselves, if they love the next person as they love themselves, they will make sure that they forget other person is as good as theirs or greater. So that is, I see.
All right. Via Facebook, Joseph Okezie goes, hello, Dad. One of the problems of Africa or Nigeria is culture. Culture plays a prominent role. Most cultures in Nigeria encourage many children. No culture supports having only a few. Sex preference, to a large extent, also influences the number of children. A higher premium is placed on a male child. This encourages families to have more children until they have boys. Another problem of Nigeria is its government. To control population growth, the government needs to design more interventions to improve education, employment opportunities, and the economy. For example, our study shows that the more the men were educated, the fewer the children they wanted to have. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, go on.
Yeah, the problem of Nigeria is we like to leave everything in God's hands because we know that children are gifts from God, that they can have many as they want to have it, and still leave the training in the hands of God also, both our government and our citizens. That is a problem of this country because when the government will tell you where they're supposed to do roads, the citizens begin to pray and they'll help us. God help us. God help us. They think that's how it works. They don't know that God asked you to train up this child the way he should go. He did not say, I will train them for you. That is the problem of Nigeria. We will continue to be backward in making them. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good evening, Dan. We are fulfilling the scriptures that says, go into the world and multiply. But we forget that the Bible also says the person who cannot take care of his family is worse than an infidel. The reason is that we are only ready to be producing children, and we don't want to do anything that will make us become a productive nation. Even feel we can produce in Nigeria. That's from Amos Amigo. I think the root of the problem is our value system. The value system of developed countries is different. That's from Dave. African countries can't lead in the positives but negative. That's because we are having the wrong people at the helm of affairs. The right persons are struggling with little or no chance to lead. Those who will put the square pegs in square holes and round pegs in round holes simple. For example, Peter Obi, Dora Akunyili, and many others. That's from Famous. The answer is because most Africans do not have adequate plans for the unborn children. They only believe the saying, God gives children, without knowing that it's your duty as a human to control your childbirth. Hello.
Hello, Daniel. Good evening.
Hi, go on.
Thank you for having me. I'm going to attempt your question, okay? It's a combination of factors. I can answer it from different perspectives, but I'm going to pick it up from this perspective quickly. And then you know about the Tower of Babel, how they built the Tower of Babel. They have the numbers and they have the purpose. They have something that unites them, and they have a goal and objective they want to achieve. The problem with Africa and with Nigeria is when there's a lack of ideology, all right? When you bring different people together who have different ideologies, okay, they tend to walk, maybe the right walk, but towards different directions. So, particularly for Nigeria, you can see that there are different ideologies that play here, right? Even if we have all the materials we need, all the resources, both human and material resources, you find that there won't be a common purpose for us to utilize these things to achieve a particular goal. So I know leadership is part of it, but at the base of it is different ideologies, different purposes. And while some believe that education is the key to success, some don't believe that education is the key to success. So while you're pushing to get everybody educated, others are pushing to have everybody do something else. And when there is that level of disconnect, really, you might have some progress, but not to the level where where you will stand out in global record as having achieved. Another thing is that if you compare Africa with Europe or Nigeria with Europe, you find out that over time, these people they have been involved in different encounters, maybe wars and disputes that actually brought them together, and they have one purpose, trying to have peace, trying to have growth and development, and they work from that experience to achieve it.
We've had wars.
Africa,
We've had wars here in Africa and Nigeria as well.
Yeah, we have local intertribal wars. Not to compare with World War I and II, not to compare with Europe and this, they really don't want to suffer again, they really don't want to be attacked again or killed again, they now form the strongest military, they now develop armaments, because they have a purpose to live safely in the world. But if you look at Africa, it's still, that is one aspect. As I said, there are many factors, okay? I'm trying to look at it at this aspect.
Yeah.
Africans are big.
Oh my. I've got a commercial break coming up shortly. Well, let's see if I have any other comments to attend to at this time. Nigeria's problems are 1. No value system. 2. Illiteracy. 3. Religion. 4. Ethnicity, culture, tradition. Interesting indeed, really. What I find it quite, interesting about, if I may use the word interesting about this scenario, is you would think that those countries where things are somewhat better, where people have a better quality of life, meaning that you are more relaxed, you would think that's where fertility rates should be on the rise. But no, it's not the case. Where things are difficult, that's where fertility rate is increasing. Remarkable indeed. Anyways, got a commercial break coming up shortly, as I mentioned a while ago. Major news comes up top of the hour at 6 p.m. Open season is up after that. A review of all the matters discussed on the show today. Deeply stay with us. Hard Facts returns in a bit.
It's all talk and more.